So a pyramidal peak is a sharp mountain peak formed where there are three or more corries erode back towards each other at the top of a mountain. Ribbon Lake, a long narrow lake found in a glacial valley floor. Corrie, a round deep hollow, steep-sided, near the mountain tops. It's a high altitude lake within its high altitude area. Hanging Valley, high level tributary glacial trough with a sharp fall to the main glacial trough. Glacial trough, a deep, wide, U-shaped valley with a flat valley floor. Arête, a narrow ridge formed when two corries cut back towards each other. Truncated spur, a valley spur that's been cut off by glaciation, leaving a very steep cliff. Tarn, small lake found in the hollow of a corrie, high altitude. And they are listed right here. Let's go into even more. Here is how a corrie is formed. That bit just says deep rock basin due to abrasion. Here it is here. That bottom bit says abrasion, moraine dragged by glacier, erodes and more erosion at A than B due to greater weight of ice. There's A, there's B there. A there, and that says moraine under glacier. So corrie, ice is a very powerful agent of erosion, can create spectacular landforms in mountain areas. So Red Tarn is an example in Lake District. Corries are known as cirques or querms and are large hollowed out depressions found in upper slopes of mountain sides where glaciers begin. They are characterised by a steep back wall and raised front lip. They are armchair horseshoe shaped. May contain a tarn. So formation of the landform is on cold slopes with north facing aspect. Snow collects in small sheltered mountain hollows high above the snow line. Over many years, the lower layers of snow become compressed or compacted into ice and a small corrie glacier is formed. Ice moves downhill under its own weight and due to gravitational pull. Within the hollow, a rotational movement, slip, of ice occurs. Freeze-fall weathering and plucking steepen the back and side walls of a hollow. Abrasion over-deepens hollow floor. A lip forms at the front edge of the corrie as a result, where there is least erosion because the rotational movement of ice is upward. The rate of erosion decreases as the ice is thinner there as a result. As the ice passes over the lip, tensional forces within the corrie glacier cause surface fracture to appear, called crevasses in the ice. So a drumlin is a smooth, egg-shaped hill, about 10 metres high and several hundred metres long, 10 to 30, found in clusters on the floor of a glacial trough. 30 metres. So there's a tail, which is a pointed end, and a stoss, which is a blunt end. It's half egg-shaped, and if there's a topography, a swarm of drumlins is called a basket of eggs. Made moraine has been streamlined and shaped by moving ice. A blunt end which faces up, so it's where up, so valley, and a more pointed end facing down. Valley, so indicates valley direction of movement of glacier. Erratics. So when the ice was disappeared and it carried, yeah, I've already covered that. So U-shaped valley. Valley's V-shape of interlocking spurs juts out on either side around which the river winds, so it's sinuous. During glaciation, the ice under its own weight and force of gravity moves down from the mountain and carries into the valley once occupied by the river. After glaciation, ice is a solid block and, like water, cannot wind around the interlocking spurs, so they're eroded by abrasion and plucking. Ice freezes to the rock and pulls pieces away when it moves. It then uses its material in the abrasion process. Today, this gives a very steep-sided valley. Spurs are being truncated. The trough is now U-shaped with a wide, flat floor. It's been deepened, leaving hanging valleys above from which waterfalls drop. The valley's been straightened. So just a quick diagram to study for drumlins. So here are examples of glacial landforms. So Red Tarn Corrie, Striding Edgerett, Helvellyn Peak, Thirlmere or Lake Windermere is a glacial trough, Drumlins Swindale in the Eden Valley, Erratics Boulder Stone, and Moraines Borrowdale. So Drumlins in Swindale in Lake District, and in Ribble Valley. Finally, tourism. So tourism, so footpaths, it provides jobs, contributing to local economies through shops, hotels, restaurants and visitor attractions. People are drawn to upland glaciated areas such as Lake District and Snowdonia for hiking, cycling, climbing and nature watching, and fell running. Aviemore in Cairngorms is a multi-activity centre offering opportunities for mountain biking, hiking and skiing in the winter. A wildlife park, stream railway and shops draw many thousand people to the resort each year. Farming, upland glaciated areas, soil tends to be thin and infertile, slopes are steep, covered by scree and bare rock tops, climate is harsh, high rainfall, low temperatures and strong winds, heavy snowfalls occur in the winter. However, sheep grazing, because there are lots of grass for hay and silage, and highland beef, cattle and deer can be farmed. Forestry, commercial forestry is widespread throughout upland glaciated areas, mostly involving conifer plantations. Fast-growing trees, well-suited to harsh climate, can thrive on thin acidic soils. Trees are used to provide wood for furniture and constructions. Some are chipped to use biofuel. Quarrying, upland glaciated areas are made of trough rocks that can be quarried and used for a vast variety of purposes, such as road building. So there's slate, District, blue-grey rock used for roofing and decorative material. Lake District's 13 quarries that are active. Pennines limestone, used for building material. Fragments and gravel are popular landscape material for gardens. Highlands granite, resistant rock, range of uses, so pavement edges, kitchen work surfaces, Scottish island of Aslea Ailsa Crag, used for the stones in sport of curling due to its unusual uniform hardness. So impacts of tourism. So social, 50 million tourists annually, puts pressure on roads and other facilities. Economic, boosts family incomes, employment rises, provides money to spend in the local economy. Businesses, adventure tourism promoted by tourism. Tourists spend over 1,000 million each year in hotels, restaurants and shops, boosting local economies. Pollution can be an issue with environmental. Walks can create conflicts with farmers if gates left open or dogs worry livestock. Footpath erosion, a major issue in some popular locations. So managing tourism. Traffic congestion. Public transport is encouraged. Special bus routes serving hikers and cyclists. Traffic calming in villages. Some settlements, such as Ambleside, are transport hubs with coordinated facilities such as car parks, bus stops and footpaths and cycleways. Footpath erosion, fixer fells work, organisations, local landowners restore and repair footpaths, often using local stone and even sheep's wool to make them more resistant. Improve signage to encourage people to not stray off dedicated footpaths. Replanting of native plants, so withstanding erosion. So tourist attractions, boating, fishing, hiking on ribbon lakes such as Ullswater and Windermere. Mountain landscapes offer opportunities for hiking and climbing. George scrambling, abseiling, off-road diving. Adventure activities, small towns such as Grasmere and Ambleside, historic houses and gardens like the Beatrix Potter House, and popular attractions like the Gingerbread House. Conflicts in land uses, farming and tourism. Tourists cross farmland, leaving access gates open. Farming animals can escape. Loose dogs worry sheep. Littering, dangerous to animals. Quarrying and conservation. Quarrying can damage the natural environment, destroy habitats and make the landscape unattractive. Lorries on narrow country roads can cause damage to verges and create air pollution. Tourism and conservation. Intense tourism can lead to pollution and footpath erosion. Between economic development and conservation. Energy development, glaciated upland areas, ideal location for wind farms. Low land prices, sparse population, strong winds. However, it's visual pollution and businesses rely on tourism concerned negative impact on it. And may scar the landscape with clusters of wind turbines. Reservoir construction, upland glaciated areas can be ideal location for reservoirs. High rainfall totals, deep valleys and low population density. Reservoirs destroy habitats, impact river regimes, disrupt water flow. Economic benefits, including tourist attractions like fishing and sailing. They can also reduce flood risk. Forestry, conifer plantations have significant impact on the natural environment. Few species of tree have planted, leading to a reduction in biodiversity. As they grow, they block out light, restricting range of flowering plants on the forest floor. Limited vegetation, plantations are often devoid of wildlife, can impact tourism too. glaciers move really slowly due to weight and gravity pull. So it moves by basal slip. When some meltwater beneath a glacier lubricates it, which enables it to slip or slide forwards or downhill as mass by a few metres a year. Small glaciers high up in the mountainside or hollows or depressions may move by rotational slip, a curved movement that often results in the formation of a corrie. Internal deformation. This occurs when there are very cold temperatures preventing basal flow. Ice moves as if it were plastic, oozing along, speeding up and slowing down in response to changes in the gradient and slope below. Under the pull of gravity, individual ice crystals of glacial slip past each other and deform. Front of glacier is called a snout. Ice from upland areas moves downhill to lowland areas. The glacier acts like a giant earth mover, shoving piles of soil, rocks and boulders forwards in front of it. It's called boulders.